That didn't happen before before you, Dave.
It started happening just like a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know why?
I actually get the message on my screen, and so I can just say the meeting is being recorded, and I'm just going to say continue. So
Yeah.
ever since the new job, I've got all this stuff loaded on the computer. All sorts of things are changing.
Well, thank you for all joining us today. Of course, we record all the services so that you can enjoy any aspect or the whole thing at any one point later in the future. You can go onto our YouTube channel and listen to the meditation or Renee's talk. I'm joined by Reverend Renee Rossi, who is in the lovely blue and leafy earrings. And she is my co-minister this evening. And I'm just very pleased and honored to have her here with me. She's also a good friend. And so, those who are just joining us, we're about to begin the Open Doorway online service. Thank you for joining us. I see there's some unfamiliar faces, some familiar faces. So welcome to everybody that is just joining on. And and don't be shy, show your faces. I love seeing smiling faces, especially when we come from meditation. But it's whatever you feel most comfortable with. But I do love seeing the lovely faces for me. And we will begin with a invocation. So just close our eyes for a moment. Let's just take a few deep breaths in. Really soak in all that positive vibrations from that breath. Infinite Divine Spirit, we lift our hearts and our minds today to hear the healing harmonies that soften our earthly pain and distress and bring us comfort. May we strive to remain in constant concert with our physical and spiritual journeys, and let us absorb this healing light and the shared wisdom amongst us. And let us bring it into our hearts, always in your loving embrace. Amen. Okay. So for those who are not familiar with the Open Doorway and what the Open Doorway Spiritualist Community means, spiritualism is a faith, is a religion. And the wonderful thing about spiritualism, a lot of it is really up to the individual belief system of the many people that create this community. And we have very little dogma associated with it. But the dogma, the scripture, so to speak, or the words that are associated that we follow, our core beliefs, so to speak, with spiritualism are our spiritualist principles. So in every service, we read together as a community these principles. And I would ask you all to join with me in that. And I will try to go as slowly as possible so that everybody can be in togetherness with that vibration. We subscribe to the following principles: infinite intelligence, the deity, the designing and creating energy for everything in the universe. One universe, many dimensions, From one source came all that is present in our world, our galaxy, and beyond. The immortal soul. The soul is eternal. We seek truth within ourselves, from other souls, from sacred writings, and from the natural order that sustains us. Communication between the material and the non-material world. Spirit transcends all dimensions. All souls, flesh, and spirit communicate with each other. Personal responsibility. Cause produces effect through thoughts, words, and deeds. We create ourselves and our circumstances, and we are singly responsible for our choices and creations. The golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is our highest morality. All right. So for the next portion of our service is one of my favorite parts of really any service is the healing meditation. If we were meeting up in person, it would be healing chairs. But since we are doing this online, we're going to be doing a guided healing meditation. So wherever you find yourself, get comfortable, wiggle in your chair, maybe roll your shoulders and your neck, just get your body comfortable and ready for meditation. And when you feel like you're all comfortable and ready to go, close your eyes. We'll begin with a deep breath in through our nose and an exhale through our mouth. Really feel that air passing your lips. And another deep breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth. And really nice, another big deep breath in through your nose and hold it for a moment. Hold it for a moment. And exhale. Body beginning to relax with every breath. Now you can breathe normally. Feeling that warmth and comfort around you. Begin to feel healing vibration surround you. Relaxation coming over your entire body. Maybe any sores or discomfort in your feet. Tenseness begins to fade away. Is replaced by relaxation. That relaxation moves up into your legs. Slowly making its way to your knees. Any stiffness there, gone. Replaced with this relaxation. Slowly moving its way up your thighs and hips. Into your torso, lower back, upper back and chest. Relaxation going to your arms, your hands, your fingers. Feel this wave of relaxation. Now in your shoulders and neck. Feel the calming force. Put it on your face. Relaxing all the little muscles. Let that relaxation into your mind. Decluttering any thoughts or worries that remain there. Those are gone. You are a clear body and mind. Perceive that healing light and energy. Still sense the room around you. The chair or seat beneath you. That slowly fades away. And you feel a sense of open space. Nothing. You are floating. Body weightless. In this space. Infinite. All around you. Any noises or outside sounds also begin to fade away. There's just silence. Just you. Breathing in and out. Continuing to fill your lungs with that healing energy. in this space of infinite nothing. Surroundings become much clearer. It's no longer dark or black around you. Begin to see twinkling, beautiful, shimmering stars. Cosmos and space around you. See these far distant stars. Distant planets making their turns. You even see the scope, a giant galaxy before you. All its beautiful stars and planets that are contained there. See all the white and purple, blue aura around it. You sense the universe knows that you are there, knows why you're there. It's warmly inviting you further. Experience this beautiful space. Soak in healing vibrations and rays from all these millions of stars around you. Feel like you're moving very slowly. Seeing beautiful, colorful planets pass you by. Just the calmness of that silence. Calmness of everything in its order, everything in its place, moving to a rhythm. Moving to its infinite destination. You see these lines, the lines of the paths of these See its curved axis. Slow turning. Its tranquility. And its rotation. After a little while of being in this infinite space, planets and stars and galaxies around you, you begin to see figures of light floating towards you. You feel peace, warmth, and friendship with these lights. These human life forms come to you, begin to form a circle around you. Lighting you up, very much like the stars instilled wonder in you before. Shine that light on your face and your body. And you feel that light fill your aura. And you feel its pulsating energy, soothing, calming, feeling almost like tiny little beads that are vibrating, pressing away any aches, any pains. You feel supported in this circle of light. These beings, friends and allies, without speaking, you know that they know and understand any stresses, any struggles, or pains that you experience on Earth. They too understand this form, this experience. With that knowledge and that knowing, you know exactly where to extend the light to you, whatever area of heart needs that extra healing. And embrace it. Breathe it in further. Feel that light into your body, head to toe. Let it fill your mind, removing any doubt. Filling your heart with love. Once this is done, feeling rejuvenated, refreshed, alive, present, these figures gather round closer, and with a whisper, ask you for anyone else, any names, or even the faces, the images of others that need this healing. Take a moment, allow yourself to think of the names of these people. It could be friends or family, fur pet, fur children, friends. Just quietly think of anyone else that too needs this light. Having thought of the names and the faces and images of all that need this healing light, the light forms surround you. Now know who to go to give and extend this healing light. Take another dance around you. Feel you hear almost laughter, playful giggling as they dance and fly around you, showing you only love and support. One after another, they fly off to go bestow and give that light to those you thought of today. Slowly, very much slow dimming pace, stars begin to fade. Galaxy, beautiful purple and white, many sparkles that contain them, begins to fade away in darkness. All the planets, the lines marking their path to their destination, all coming fuzzy, fading into the background. Nothing. Just you spinning, feeling full of light and love and support from these other beings in the universe, the infinite intelligence that it contains. Slowly, the image and feeling of the room around you comes into focus. Begin to hear some sounds from outside. Feel a weight in a chair. Feel the tingling sensation of your fingers and your toes. Body fully relaxed, having received this healing light. Feel at peace. You feel calm being back. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and return to this plane on this beautiful planet. Feeling healed. And I would have everybody, when they feel comfortable, join along with me in reading the prayer for spiritual healing. And we'll go slow. We ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from our minds and bodies and to restore
to us perfect health.
We
We
ask
ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and we will do our part.
We ask
Rest this great unseen force
to help both
present and absent ones. who are in the need of help
to restore.
and to restore perfect health.
We
We put our trust in the love and power of spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for all for joining me on that journey. I hope it was relaxing and beneficial and full of healing. I never, just to admit something, for those frequent comers and to those that are new faces, I never actually really know where I'm going to go with any meditation. I just say I give it my faith to spirit and say, okay, guide me into what I need to where I need to take people for healing and what I need to show them for healing and where are we going? And so I even was saying before service, I was like, okay, I'm not sure where we're gonna go today, but oh, I could do this or that. And then something said, Terence, the answer will come to you where they need to go and where that healing energy will be restored. If I make some ums and ahs or pauses in between, it's only because I'm waiting for their direction. Show me the next step. So I'm going on the journey with you all. The next portion of our service is the offering, and because the Open Doorway, since the pandemic back in now 2020, March of 2020, we felt like our overhead was at a very reasonable amount or level, and we thought this was a great opportunity to feature charities, nonprofit organizations that we felt should have our eyes and should have our efforts, and maybe if we are so inclined, some funds, some money of maybe $1, $10, $20, doesn't matter. And this month I've selected this particular project, this organization, and it's entitled the Trevor Project. And Trevor was a real person. And the reason why I've selected the Trevor Project is I once, a long time ago, met a man when I was very young, and he became family to me. And this man was, to some of you who know, it was my godfather, Paul. Now, Paul was born in 1935. And when he was in about high school or college, he had a feeling or a thinking that he was different than those around him. And he realized that he was a gay man. And he embraced it within himself. And he led that life. But he knew that, at the point that he realized this and spoke this truth to himself, it was not a truth that he could speak to others. It being in the 1950s and 60s, it was something you would keep to yourself in private. And communities were there, but underground and harder to find. And he never quite admitted the struggle with that, or never really told me too much about it, but he did say that it was a struggle for even him at that age, but he couldn't imagine struggle for children that age that don't have a support system, don't have somebody to talk to. And he most definitely felt that loneliness with not being able to talk to somebody. And one of the reasons that inspired the Open Doorway Spiritualist Community, not having feeling accepted and not having found a community, and was going all over the place to really find a community that he felt belonged. And he found that in spiritualism. And he wanted to create that space for others as well. Well, I felt that the Trevor Project was appropriate, being Pride Month, to put into the forefront of our minds and our hearts, because of the young people out there that are still dealing with and struggling with accepting themselves, and forgetting about the expectations and the truths that are contained in others, and putting that aside and focusing on their own truth and accepting that truth as right, as true, as what it is supposed to be and what is. And anybody that's struggling with their identity should have a venue or a ways of communicating that endeavor, and having someone else show that support in return. So Trevor Project was a award-winning, Academy Award-winning film. Some of you may be familiar with it, but what came about from that film was this charity, this organization, which is a helpline for anyone that is going through trying to not only come into terms with their truth, but accept it and embrace it, and allow their truth to be spoken to others without judgment. And so sometimes that judgment can be very difficult for those that are trying to accept the truth. So this service is a wonderful organization, wonderful service that they provide, and they do a lot to help young people accept their truth and support them in their truth. So they have a lot of programs and services, but they also do a lot of education services, going into schools, educating teachers and professors in the right way and in the way to handle these difficult and tender situations. And so I wanted to feature that. They have other ways of helping. It may not necessarily be income or monetary value that you would like to share, but they have other ways of support that you can express. And I did even put the Trevor Lifeline there for anybody that feels that they have somebody that would need it or needs it in the future, that if they ever have any a crisis related to their truth, their identity, that they should call that helpline and seek the support that they so need. So I'll put the link for everybody to look at. It's a wonderful website, very interactive, and they have been doing a lot of good since 1998. And the one statistic that one can never predict, and I'm sure they even wince at thinking of trying to put it in numbers, in a solid number, but the amount of lives that they probably saved over that span of 20 some odd years. It's probably quite a significant number. So thank you for indulging me, and if you do make a monetary donation, you can have it in your name, but I would be really honored, and it would warm my heart if you can make it also in honor of my godfather Paul, who this month would be celebrating Footloose and Fancy Free on the streets of Manhattan, or this usually hit the streets of New Orleans and in full drag and and being himself, lipstick and all. So thank you. So on to my other favorite part of the service is introducing the guest inspirational lecturer, the one speaker. And I am so delighted and honored to have my good friend, Reverend Renee Rossi, come and speak to us, share her wisdom, and give us some insight. And she's not only a reverend, but a wonderful psychic medium. You also work for the United Palace of Spiritual Artistry, which is also a beautiful organization, if you've never heard of it. And also a dog mom to a lovely guy in Brooklyn named Woody. So always kind of mention that. And
My favorite credential.
it's always the part of the credential. So I'll have her take it away.
Thank you, Terence. I'm really happy to be here. And that was the perfect segue because, you know, it's no coincidence that Pride is celebrated during the month of June. It's so natural that this is the month that they chose. We're gonna explore, you know, what that means a bit, but I just want to talk a little bit about nature and what's happening and how it affects us, and really how it can support us and what we need and where we are in our lives at any given moment. You know, we live, those of you who live in New York or anywhere you live, there's seasons, and there's a spiralic rhythm to that, moving in and out of seasons, where, you know, the sun is very present, the temperature is warm, and then it's cold. So similar to what is happening in nature, we also go through those seasons ourselves. We go through them internally, and we go through them throughout different stages and cycles of our lives. So every season it's an invitation to reflect on what's happening in the external and bring it to the internal level. You all have probably heard the saying, as above, so below, which really has to do with, you know, the macro to the micro, or, you know, the spirit world to the earth world. And also it's the external and the internal, how the rhythms and what is happening very much matches. And so when you can begin to have an awareness of that and recognize it, like, it can support you in whatever you need in this moment, whatever you're seeking, whatever guidance you desire, like, you can allow the season to support you on that quest. So it's also helps us recognize that, you know, we're not separate from what's happening on earth, just like we're not separate from each other. And it's such an important reminder, particularly like as we slowly come out of this this pandemic that's really kept a lot of people isolated and separate from one another, and feeling like you can't connect, you can't hug, you can't be outside, you know, and remembering, like, we're all connected, whether or not, you know, we can share physical space. So it's just a gentle reminder about that. So, you know, the first question that I always kind of like to pose, and these questions are for you to just listen to or explore. You can take to your journaling or however you like, but it's, are you going with the flow of nature? Are you allowing what's happening to happen, or are you resisting? Do you tell yourself, oh, I'm not ready yet, so I'm not going to do this. Like, for example, it's summertime, and for some people that may bring up all the anxiety of like, you better have the beach body ready. It's like, oh, well, I can't enjoy the sun or the beach because I don't look a certain way, or whatever the story is that you may have been told or you tell yourself. That's resisting, you know, that's really pushing against what nature is asking you to do. Nature's saying, like, come out and step in this warm sun and receive it. Like, it is for you, no matter who you are, what you look like, how you are feeling. So, you know, listening to that call, you know, what is nature inviting you to do? And what does it mean in your own life to be in summer or to be in bloom? You may have some ideas that means, oh, it means I'm making a lot of money, so I'm really blooming and everything's great. And maybe you could question that, like, is it really about material things? Is it really about physical things? Or could being in bloom mean that you are open to receive, that you're open for connection, you're open for abundance, energetically, emotionally, abundance in your heart? You know, what could in bloom mean to you? So that's another question I pose for you to just explore. And maybe you have some old stories and some old ideas of what that looks like and what it means, and how you can possibly let that go and start telling a new story about that. Because really, you know, when you look around, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, especially here in New York, you see like the trees are flowering, the roses are everywhere, there's a fragrance in the air. Like the natural world is flourishing, which means you are flourishing because you are part of the natural world. You are not separate from it. So this doesn't mean it's all, you know, rainbows and butterflies and that you always feel amazing every moment, but it means that you are in a time of flourishing. So allowing that and accepting that. Now, in addition to it being, of course, summer, today is the all magical summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year. And so we really get to reflect on, you know, the bright light of the sun. You know, we have more minutes and hours with the sun than we will the rest of the year. And so that allows us to reflect on the light within ourselves. So have you acknowledged your own light lately? Have you ever acknowledged your own light? It's not simple, you know, it's not easy. And I don't mean the sort of ego mind that says like, you're beautiful, you're perfect, you're smart, you know, I mean the part of you that can acknowledge that you have goodness within you, that you have good intentions, that you, if you can think of the ways, you know, you show compassion and kindness to others, the way you're generous, or perhaps, you know, can find forgiveness in your heart. Like those are all ways that you're sharing your light with others and spreading it externally. So how do you bring some of that light to yourself? Because your light isn't just for everyone else. Everyone needs it, the world needs it, but you also need it. So how can you bring your light to yourself? You know, some ideas to explore would be like allowing yourself to make mistakes. You can recognize you made a mistake, and then you don't have to punish yourself for the rest of your life about it. That is sharing your light with yourself, right? I mean, it sounds so silly, but I mean, I know I have things that I know I've done that I regret, that, you know, I like to run over and over in my head. And perhaps, you know, a day like today with all this light is an invitation to say, oh, maybe I can let that story go and share some of that light with myself. Another thing is just recognizing your evolution and allowing it. Like perhaps you're in relationships or jobs or anything that, you know, maybe doesn't quite fit anymore. And it would be bringing light to yourself if you would allow yourself to shift and change to meet your own needs. You know, you don't have to stay in a situation that's no longer serving you or that you have outgrown. I mean, that would be really acknowledging that you're in bloom, to be like, this doesn't fit me anymore. So now, let's explore what does fit and what does feel good for me. And especially today, the summer solstice is a huge invitation to appreciate the joy and the positive things in your life. Like, appreciate the flowers and the buds on the edges of the tree branches. And this is not spiritual bypassing. This doesn't mean that everything is just flowers and beauty, but it means that you get to appreciate it. You get to stop and enjoy it, because even this moment will pass. As we're talking about the flow of nature and the spiral, we move in and out of these times where we're called into joy. Sometimes we're called into our grief. Sometimes we're called into, challenges and called into the unknown. And right now, the invitation is joy. Like, can you feel your own joy? Are you allowed to have it? Can you bathe in it? Can you pretend the sunlight is just pouring joy on you? So, however that feels good for you, that is literally what nature is asking us to do right now. And we are just a few days away from the sun moving into the astrological sign of Cancer, which of course is the archetype of the mother. So it is another opportunity to just get curious about how we parent ourselves, and the best way that I invite you to do that is to really start listening to how you talk to yourself. Usually that's where all the secrets are, and the thoughts and the things we say to ourselves over and over. And is your mind the sort of parent that's overbearing, always punishing, always judging, always trying to keep you on track? Or are you just trying not to look, and are you just filling yourself with distractions? And so maybe you're feeling a little neglected by your inner parent. So just exploring those ideas and seeing how you're invited to step into joy and to parent yourself to meet your needs. And when we talk about meeting our own needs, a lot of times we associate, oh, this means work. That means effort. That means discipline. And all of those things can be true, but could it also be gentle? Could it be lighthearted? Could it be fun? Like, could you bring joy to caring for yourself? Like, have you ever tried? And these are questions I pose for myself too. So it's just another invitation from nature and from spirit, of what we're being called into. And it's a good time to reflect on like the expectations we put on ourselves. Are these expectations even yours, or has someone put them upon you and you've just sort of carried them with you? Or are these expectations kind? Are these expectations impossible? Just getting curious about that, and letting yourself, find joy in the process, and not be overwhelmed by, oh, wow, I'm really mean to myself. I have those moments sometimes where I think, oh, I haven't said one nice thing in the past hour while I'm trying to navigate this difficult situation. Like, perhaps there's another way. So that's really what nature is calling us into right now. And I want to sort of now reflect on like spirit's role in all of this. There's the summer solstice is one of the three holidays in the year where we, similar to Halloween, where we say that the veil is thin, which means that, spirit, who is ever present, always around you, protecting you, loving you, guiding you, sending you messages, you can hear it quicker, you can hear it clearer, you can hear it with less effort. So that's the energy we're in right now. So right away, that should infuse more joy into your connection to spirit right now. Not that it should, but it can do that, because spirit is easier to hear and to feel at this time of year. And there's nothing that you have to do. Once again, it's just an allowing. Like, spirit is already here with you, supporting you. You don't need to deserve it. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to be a certain way. Like, you're here on earth So spirit is here to help you and guide you. And it's a little easier to hear spirit right now. So yay. So that's just to encourage you to connect in the ways that feel really good for you, that fill you up. And also just with the history of, summer solstice has been celebrated for thousands of years in cultures all over the earth. So you undoubtedly have thousands of ancestors who have acknowledged this day and who have celebrated its meaning. And so you have their support, and you sort of have that remembrance of how to step into this energy, how to receive it, and how to allow it to support you and help you feel joyful about whatever's happening in your life right now. Even something that's difficult, to know that there can be moments of joy among sadness and grief and difficulty. So that's sort of just the fact that all your ancestors are there supporting you doing that. So, you can ask yourself, like, what is spirit calling me to do? What am I being called to notice, to feel, and to celebrate about myself? So just a remembrance about, the sun, when you're out in the summer, you look out your window, like that sun is a reflection of the light that you have within you, and the light that is within everyone that you meet. And so that you are not separate from what is happening around you. You are part of it. You're not separate from nature, and you're not separate from each other. So it's just a reminder of that connection and how that supports you. And before I wrap it up, I want to share a very quick poem with you. This is a Canadian poet. Her name is Ruby Kaur. She's one of my favorites. And this is from her book called The Sun and Her Flowers. And I think it really captures this moment of what it means to be in this moment in time, in nature, on the planet. This is the recipe of life, said my mother, as she held me in her arms as I wept. Think of those flowers you plant in the garden each year. They will teach you that people too must wilt, fall, root, rise in order to bloom.
That was like perfect poem.
Perfect
balance to the message that needed to be conveyed.
Like, I know she's got a good solstice poem somewhere. I'll find it.
What was the name? Ruby
Kaur. I can put her name in.
Oh yes, I think I know. Okay.
Yeah.
I know this poet. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Renee. That was filled with a lot of reminders, even for myself. I even enjoyed I feel like I often talk to people about the laws of the universe and how even though we feel as though as people we're separate from these laws of the universe, but I'm saying, but we are part of the universe, so they also apply to us. Just how when I say the law of what is it, as they say, the law of energy of conservation. So it's just how it goes, the law that we learned in science class, I'm recounting my 6th grade science class, is energy cannot be destroyed or created, only transferred or transformed. And we are part of the universe, so our energy also is transferred or transformed. And so that was a good reminder. And I also you did mention something, let that story go. That whatever story of negative story, let it go. And Reverend Deanna Sarah, she took the ministry class with me. She says that all the time. She says, oh, that's your story. That's not my story. Or let that story go. And I thought that was interesting. And the overall message that I really was I feel like this weekend has been pounding in my head is bringing that joy to the task of caring for yourself. because I often be like, I'm being told to do this to take care of myself. And I was like, that's just another thing I got to do and put it off. And, that's like, I got to call somebody and I'm too busy. I can't do it.
Yeah, I made an effort to try and not to say self-care because those two words already have so many stories around them that people are like, oh no, I've already failed.
Well, thank you for sharing that and giving us that reminder on a special day with it being summer solstice. Quick things before we wrap up. I do want to share my screen one more time and show you the upcoming events that we have. So July 7th and July 18th, we will be having more Open Doorway online services. July 7th at 7 p.m., that's a Wednesday, and July 18th at 5 p.m. is a Sunday. Currently right now, July 7th, I will just be I'll be giving the talk and leading the whole service. And July 18th, it hasn't been confirmed, but I am talking to a co-minister to come along with me. And so something to look forward to. Then message circles. So if you liked Renee today, you can have, be in her aura presence again on the 25th of June. She and myself will be leading a message circle at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That is a Friday. And you can go to awakeningny.com/workshops. I can put the link in the chat for you to, if you are interested in a message circle, to sign up. And you can do it that way. And then July 16th, which will be the next one, it will be myself and co-conductor Chris D. And if you are so inclined and seeing me in person, I'm quite tall compared to me in this tiny little box. I will be doing my regular stint in Port Jarvis at the Awakening location, July 17th at 5:30 p.m. And that is a message circle with just myself and whoever cares to attend. So thank you. And now, with having announced all the events coming up, I will give it back to Renee and she can end the service with a benediction.
So I just invite everyone to close your eyes one last time. We close our service. Divine Spirit, we thank you for this time together to connect with one another on the longest day of the year. May your light remind us of the light we carry within each of us and the light that is held within each person we encounter, so that we may all feel healed and connected to one another. We honor the seasons of Earth and the seasons of our own lives and celebrate that we are ever evolving and transforming, just like Mother Earth so beautifully demonstrates for us. May we be blessed, may we be whole, and may we be in bloom. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Terence.
Renee, can you say that little
Thank
poem
you.
again?
Thank you.
Yeah, do you want me to put it in the chat?
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Dave.
Thank you.
Happy working. Thank you all for joining.
Hi, Terence.
Hi, Mary. There's somebody else, but I think that she left. I wanted to introduce myself. Was that one of your friends, Amy?
Yes.
Okay, right on. I'm glad that she was able to come. I hope she got a lot out of it. And Leslie, do I know you, Leslie? No, I don't. Hello, Leslie. I like your your wagon.
I take it with me wherever I go.
And Cece is,
Hi.
hi, nice to meet you.
Mhm.
Wonderful to see new faces. So I just to introduce myself, I'm Terence.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice
meet you.
to have you here, and I hope you enjoyed it. You got something out of it.
Can I say something?
Of course you can.
Okay, I just wanted to say while she was speaking, it's just only while she was speaking, the sun was just shining so bright on her and on the dog. And as soon as she stopped speaking, it's like the light went away. It was right on her. It was great.
Got a spotlight on her.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a spotlight. It was nice.
Oh, thank you.
Some dancing days. What were we gonna say, Renee?
I was just saying, thank you for telling me. Yeah, I couldn't see myself. I was speaking. I had some notes I was referring to. I missed it, but I love that.
Yeah, it's dimmed down now, but it was like bright.
But yeah, it's fun. It's funny how the universe and spirit works in those ways. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. I didn't notice. But now I'm gonna go back to the video and do.
Well, it was also shining on the dog too. The dog was pretty lit up.
You good?
Yeah, I loved how Woody made an appearance for us.
Oh, Woody. Okay.
Yeah, Woody, he wanted to join today. He was very good.
Just for everybody's information, so Renee kindly put up the poem for us to review and read on our own.
Thank you.
I did also put the Trevor project, if you feel you want to take a look at it, see if it's something you want to contribute. I highly recommend. Then I also put the link for our subscription page. So if you want to know about upcoming Open Doorway events, if you want to say maybe tell other people about upcoming events for the Open Doorway, you can subscribe on the link and yeah, we have an awesome newsletter too. We have our own in-house astrologist who is present tonight, Shimi, who is one of our trustees, and she does this amazing astrology report every month in our newsletter, and it's like my cheat code for the month, where I get to look and read at what's going on, and okay, that day maybe not do this, and it's been so helpful for me and so many other people, and yeah, I just love it. So yeah, please do sign up and you can get that.
Terence, how do I access this this meditation to hear?
Oh, hear the meditation again?
Yes.
So what will happen is, so you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is what I'm going to put in the chat right now.
Okay.
And you can just, all the previous services that we've had in the past are up there. I think maybe besides one, but that's going to be going up there very soon. And so eventually this service will be also up there for you to view at your leisure.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So I put the YouTube channel link for everybody to grab if they want.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And you can even go back in time to see all the other services and talks. And we've had some really interesting speakers and lecturers, and I feel meditations as well. Overall energy has been very
Terence, I was worried after the meditation. You took me so far. I was like, you got to come back and do this talk now.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's beautiful. I was like, not here for a while.
I can't go away forever. No, I was like, I sometimes have to remember, oh wait, we got to come back. Come away from it. But something, healing has been a theme this weekend for me. And I felt it's come up in a lot of the readings that I've done, a lot of the messages that I've received. Even found myself last night staying in a beautiful place in Port Jarvis. Mariola, who runs Awakening, staying at her home, and she was conducting a Reiki energy healing course or class. And I got some healing, but I also gave some healing, which is not something I get to do as often as my readings. So it's all part of the theme of this weekend, and I felt that we needed a little extra oomph.
Oh, it's so beautiful there, isn't it?
Yes, so very beautiful there. I even
for
laid
you.
down on the grass. I had a slight
Mhm.
break from the readings, like the one that you get, Renee, from like right there in your eye, and you're just like, okay, my third eye's activated, but it's pounding, and I just took my shoes off, laid on the grass, and I just absorbed all the vibrations from Mother Earth, the ground, and it just within 10 minutes that headache depleted and was gone. It was my Advil. So, and I just looked up at the sky and then really embraced nature because it's so beautiful there. Mhm.
You need to bottle it.
Yes, I did. And when you said that, Mary, I bottle nature. Anytime I'm in nature, I am taking images and bottling that feeling and bringing it. And I will get flashes when I really need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So thank you all for being
Thank you.
here and being present. And Amanda, you're in the car. You went from the house to the car now.
Yeah, I gotta pick up my kids.
They need to buy a car themselves.
I know, but
Happy solstice.
You're a good mother. You are a good mother.
solstice.
Happy summer solstice,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Honored to be
Thank you.
here.
Thanks for joining.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Much love, Terence.
Thank you, Renee.